Hello and welcome into your Friday night episode of Between the Hedges. Thank y'all for tuning in, whether it's now or in the future. How are y'all doing tonight, guys?
I'm doing good. Enjoyed my day off today, so happy
Yeah,
to, yeah.
hey man. Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
hey. At least y'all get tomorrow off.
That's right, we do.
Yeah. So shut up.
Don't have to.
I know you don't.
I'll be thinking about you while you're swapping out tires
Yeah.
and I'm watching the games, plural. Hey, at least you can watch the game while you're swapping out tires, right?
Oh, I'm going to.
Oh, you can? Y'all have TVs in the shop?
No, I'm gonna be on my phone.
Oh, your 4-inch screen. I got you.
hmm It's better than nothing.
That's what she said. Well, this was a funny start to the show tonight. Um, let's uh let's get right into our thoughts on this game tomorrow then.
That first.
Yeah, Dad first since he has the jokes tonight. I think we're gonna kick the crap out of Ole Miss. Like for real? Yeah, for real, for real. That's what I'm
Alright.
hoping for anyway. Well, the whole thing is based on whether or not we can finally get through a game and actually take care of the ball the whole game.
Carson Beck.
It would be nice to get through one game and
That's
not
our
turn it
weakest link.
over. So Kirby disagrees with you, by the way, but I don't.
Um,
I know you.
that's,
I know you don't care. You got an agenda, so just have your agenda. Make yourself look dumb. That's fine.
uh, It's for a person who barely threw interceptions last year to now throwing 11 interceptions in 5 games. Something's wrong. Something ain't
Okay.
working. So he's
About
our
half of
weakest
those
link.
have been on tip balls. Not his fault. Yeah, so to be
Some of
clear,
those probably we are not in the meetings and stuff like that. We don't know whose quote unquote fault any of those. We just guess from what we see, which we don't know who might supposed to be going somewhere and be at a certain place on time, and they may have slipped, they may have lollygagged, loafed, which I find it hard to believe they'd be on the field if they were doing that, but we don't know. It's the point. And to throw all the blame of all of that on one person, not right.
Well, whose stats does it go to?
Because he's his position, it goes to him.
And who's the main one?
So,
Is there
but did
any
you
other
listen
quarterback?
to did you see the little clip of Kirby Smart's post game speech after
No.
the Florida game last week?
How was that work? I couldn't.
No, but I didn't see it till today.
No,
It
no.
just or yesterday. It just they post those things on their social media during the
hmm
week after the game, after they edit it and you know dress it up or whatever they do. But he even told the rest of the team, he's like, he brought Carson Beck up at the end of the game, when he was giving his speech, and he's like, this guy played his butt off. He didn't play his best game, no, but you know what? We can help him play better by playing better around him. And that's true too. He's getting hit and knocked back, and he gets, one of those interceptions against Florida, he was getting knocked in his knees. Okay. Why did the offensive line let the guys get through to where they could hit him in the knees so the ball flutters up and it's an easy pick? I mean, it's not all just his fault. Yes, he's played not at the level we were expecting him to. I'll give you that. He's got some blame in it, but it's not all his fault. And everybody's bad mouthing him like it's all his fault.
He's
That's
just
all
got a
I'm
lot of
saying.
just distractions.
Maybe. Yeah, I even said so the other day when we were doing this. Yeah, that could be part of it. But once again, we don't know. We don't know what his schedule is. Are you hanging out with him day in, day out, going to the meetings in the film room and, you know, whatever he's doing, you know, from minute to minute? I'm
If I was
not.
getting
I
paid,
don't know what,
if
huh?
if I was getting paid for it, I would.
Uh, gotcha.
Well, see, he is, and a lot of our best players are now. And the reason for that is because they're extremely talented and they're very good at what they do. I think what Kirby
Well,
said to the team and what Dad's trying to say is that, you know, unfair or not, the quarterback and the coach are the two most blamed individuals when things don't go well. And even though they haven't looked aesthetically pleasing at all times, we're still 7-1.
yeah. I
And
mean, it's been amazing. That just is a testament to how good our team and well-rounded our team actually is that we can survive going on the road to Texas and him throw 3 interceptions and us still blow them out. And the
yeah,
game wasn't as close as the final score
Score.
suggested.
yeah,
You
it
know,
Yeah.
should have been 30-8.
if we would have had our crap together the first half and scored some more points, we would have beat them by 30 in their own stadium. And I have a feeling we could see some more of that tomorrow. That's what I'm saying when you're asking about my thoughts on the game. If we play well, and shoot, we've even seen when we don't play well, we can beat people big. But if we do play well, especially on offense, where we take care of the ball, and our defense shows up like they did against Texas, you think Ole Miss stands a chance?
I
No,
no,
No.
not if we
not
play
if that
like that.
happens. But chances of both of sides of the ball, showing up at peak performance for a whole game is kind of unlikely.
Well, we've
You know,
yet
But
to
it,
see it.
well, I mean, you could pick any team across the nation, and I doubt you would say that their complete team played top performance for an entire game.
Oregon
They haven't done that.
against Ohio State. I mean, yeah, they almost blew it, but and same for Ohio State. That game was both sides complete, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. It's been so long since that game happened. I'm sure there were some, miscues, turnovers, missed assignments, big plays given up on defense, you know. But I don't know. I think we've got an opportunity to make another statement tomorrow, and I hope that the guys are locked in and they, decide to play more along the lines of the way we did against Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matthew, what do you think about tomorrow?
I mean, our defense just keep doing their thing with how young they are, how well they're being coached. It's truly amazed me with how they've been this whole season. Because if I'm not mistaken, our strength of schedule is number one, correct?
Well,
If
This
it's not,
for
it's
this year.
number two.
Strength of
Yeah.
record, according to
Yeah,
ESPN, is number one
I
now.
think it is number one, and the
So,
remaining schedule is that as well.
Hmm.
hmm
Because we still got Ole Miss, we still got Tennessee, we still got Georgia Tech,
and then
but
UMass.
yeah, UMass,
hmm
the Fighting
Ass.
Minutemen.
Well,
But regardless, to finish, our defense has amazed me this whole year. So they got to continue doing what they're doing. Our offense just has to produce as well. If our offense is clicking or somewhat clicking, and then our defense stays clicking, this will be a blowout tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, it definitely could get that way.
Potentially.
I I think I'm I'm not gonna say that we're gonna blow them out tomorrow. I think it we could. I think that very well could happen because of how we played on the road last at Texas. But that Texas game, I feel like there was a whole lot more of a buildup to it. But I also think that Kirby's gonna have them ready because we we can't, you know, mess around and let Ole Miss stay in the game and have a chance.
And this is a must win game for them too. Like they have
Well, I
to win
mean,
out their games.
Yeah. But
well,
I'm willing.
there may not be the national buildup for this game like there was the Texas game because that was Texas's first real
Yes.
big
Competition.
boy SEC football game, if you ask me. With them, first time they've been in the SEC, and you know, we were the first ones to actually get to play them as far as a, you know, top of the conference opponent. Um, but I can guarantee you this: Ole Miss circled this game tomorrow, since what we did to them last year in Athens,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and they did all they did in the off season getting ready for this game. So we better go out there with our heads screwed on straight and ready to match that intensity because I can guarantee you they're going to be up with their home crowd and all that kind of stuff. The only thing they're down about is that it's not a night game.
Yeah, and how much does that affect him? Because Kiffin's been whining about that. So you have to stay focused and on message. And what I was gonna say is, yeah, I mean, we could definitely open this one up tomorrow, or we could be in a fight. I'm not quite sure how to feel, but I do know this. I saw Aaron Murray's him talking
Preview.
to uh Carson Beck and talking about Carson Beck on his podcast. And he said Carson's taken, a lot of heat, rightfully so, but he's like he's also taking a ton of accountability for it and he's going to be locked in and Aaron predicts a really good game out of Carson and I think we're going to see Carson's best game of the season. And
Well, even I
that's saying a
agree.
lot.
Even if we don't, I am very tired of hearing other people say, "Put in the backup." Don't we have somebody else? We don't
No,
have anybody else in that quarterback room that's as talented right now and is ready to play is Carson Beck. I'm sorry. You don't come into the season being a top 10 overall NFL draft pick and one of the favorites to win the Heisman if you don't know how to play the game. Now, has this season turned out the way he wanted, the way he anticipated? No, I guarantee you it hasn't. He would not want he would want it to go a lot better for him personally. Because honestly, he's probably cost himself some unless he just finishes off the season. And I mean, that's the thing. if we go all the way and win a national championship, we're only about halfway through the season at this point.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty of time. You can't tell me if he goes on a run where we're undefeated for the rest of the year, that would be ending on like a 14 game winning streak or something like that to end the season. And from this point on, he throws, 20 touchdowns and maybe one or two picks the rest of the year. If that he's not going to get right back in that seat to where, oh yeah, this is the Carson Beck we were expecting to see this season. You know, so is he capable of doing it? Yeah, he's very capable of doing that. I think some of that is what Kirby said. The guys around him got to step up and play better around him too and make his job a little easier
Yeah.
for him.
And let me talk about
Right.
that real quick. Not having Brock and Ladd, that's a big deal. We all knew that was going to be a big deal because those two guys are just dudes and they're leading the NFL at their position and
They're
receptions.
killing it.
They are they're the real thing, right?
Well,
And we all
besides
know
those
that.
two guys, we're down two starting wide receivers for off the field crap right now. You
Th
forget that.
that and then I think to take it to the next step, I still think Carson's developing chemistry and more importantly, trust in these other guys because they just haven't had the reps.
Mhm.
They just haven't. When you're down four top players that were supposed to be key contributors, and I mean Dylan Bell's been Mr. Consistent there all the time, but even
Arian
he's had
Smith too.
an Arian Smith, but Arian
Every
Smith
time
wasn't the go-to guy. Dylan Bell was like the go-to if we needed a big play on a third down, but he wasn't the go-to. So everybody's had to step up into roles that they aren't used to. And as well as Carson having to bring those guys along and being like, look, I trust their timing. I know where they're going to be. And so all of that, we have plenty of time to work out, like Dad's saying.
and not to mention the fact of the injuries that we've sustained on the offensive side of the ball. A couple of linemen have gone out. We're just now getting Tate Ratledge back into the mix. He played a little bit, I think, against Florida, not a lot, if I'm
Mhm.
remembering correctly.
He didn't
Um,
play a lot.
and maybe he'll be better, ready to take more reps this game tomorrow. I haven't heard. But our running backs, my gosh, can they please not get hurt anymore?
Yeah, ETN's questionable for tomorrow.
I mean, he didn't play most of the Florida game. Frazier played the vast majority, and Cash Jones, because the two Robinson backs
Still
are
out.
both out. One, I think, is going to be out for the season, if I'm not mistaken. The other one, he has a chance of coming back, but I don't think we know when yet. So, when you got those moving parts and you got young, inexperienced guys, like what Micah was just saying, filling roles that, it's new for them too, to have that kind of level of, you know, burden or whatever put on them. You're counting on them to make plays, a lot of plays, you know. Hopefully we're set up for, like I said just a minute ago, to have a run. I would be upset if we were already peaking at this time of the year. This is not the right time of the year to be peaking.
No, and I feel like
So,
there's some teams that have already peaked, and I think Ole Miss is one of them.
and
So,
you
but
don't want to do that. You
I
want to keep getting better and better and better and better to where for your conference championship game and then on into the playoffs now, you're clicking at that point. Give yourself the best chance to win those important games.
Matthew, you
I
don't think that Ole Miss is peaked?
I don't think so. they've been up and down, up and down, up and down their whole season. Like we don't know who we're gonna face tomorrow. Are we gonna face a team that played Kentucky and South Carolina, or are we gonna face someone who just got done blowing out Arkansas,
Well, that's
who
what I
Well, the
won?
good
mean.
news is they're not playing against Arkansas's defense tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm just saying, as far as like
I know. I get
they're
what you're
not,
saying.
they're not consistent, and they haven't been consistent all year. So I don't want to say that they've peaked. 'Cause they haven't.
So, so you could say that we're both struggling on the same types of things on offense being consistent because
Yeah,
that's
because
what I've been
Dart
saying the whole season on for Georgia is, consistent.
consistency. Yeah, and Dart hasn't been that well either. Um, but I mean, they got a good front seven on their defense, so we just got to make sure we take care of their front seven. If that happens, we win the game because they went and got money and got some guys. Mm, for
That is
sure.
true. I think the key
So
will be can we run the ball tomorrow and who's healthy enough to run it?
yeah,
Because if we're able to run it, then it's going to bring their secondary up closer to the line of scrimmage, and then Carson,
chance to throw the ball.
yeah, Carson will have a chance to just pick them apart at that point.
Hmm. Put
Um,
Dylan Bell in the middle. Just little will
so
work every time.
All right, so we ready to get on with our picks for this weekend.
Ooh,
let's do it.
let's get her done. Oh
I
my.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
Lord.
as you can see, starting off the Georgia game, we're favored by 2.5 points at Ole Miss. We've discussed that extensively at this point, and all three of us are thinking Georgia's going to win and cover this spread. Interesting note: Georgia hasn't covered all season,
Yeah.
Hmm. That is true. Will they
and
cover
we've
this
we've
time?
pretty much all picked them every game all season. I think I'm the only one that hasn't. I picked what was it, Tennessee Tech when we were favored by like 48 points or something, and
Mm-hmm.
we didn't
So,
cover.
yeah.
I think
Well,
I'm the only one that hasn't picked Georgia in
And
a
well,
week.
it's because they allowed a field goal at the end, which was insane. But hey, it's part of the game.
and to be fair, that was a much easier call to to pick that we won't
Yeah.
blow them out by 50
Right.
than this one
Well,
right
neither one
here.
of y'all did it,
Because
Yeah.
we definitely should have blown them out by 50.
but we
You should have.
but the point is, a lot of times we don't.
Yeah.
And I mean, just you go back and look through this whole season. I'm pretty sure I went back and double checked this before making my picks for this week. And I don't think we've covered any game this year.
I think that's right. I don't think we have either, but
So anyway, hopefully tomorrow's the first one we do cover. Um,
well, the difference is the bar has been lowered. The spread is low, the lowest it's been since the Alabama
Texas.
game, Texas, so
was it?
we did cover Texas, by the way. So you
Yeah, we
Well,
we
because
covered
we won
Texas
outright, and yeah, I get, yeah, but I'm talking about as a favorite. We
I
weren't we weren't favored in that game, I don't think.
think we covered Alabama, didn't we?
because we were favored by like a point and a half.
All right, y'all are gonna make me open this up and check now.
No, I
Go
think
ahead and
I think
start
that's right.
talking about the next games. I'm gonna find out.
Well, and then on the next row there, you see Miami going on the road to play the Nerds in Atlanta, Georgia Tech. Miami's favored by 11 and a half. And Dad and I are taking Miami. Go Canes.
Yep.
Matthew, taking the Nerds. Explain yourself.
Miami's got to lose their magic at some point.
I don't know who you
I
are anymore. I don't know that
and
I
I
can call
think
you son anymore.
and I think this game's a noon game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a noon game.
Yes.
Yep, it's a noon game. So noon game in Atlanta. Um, I don't know. I think Miami just loses their magic this game, and I at least think Georgia Tech's going to cover the spread. I don't know if they'll win, but I mean they'll at least cover the spread, in my opinion.
Is their quarterback back healthy playing again yet?
I think so. Yeah,
Because that'll make a big difference if their starter is back or not.
he's back.
All right, on my just real quick, going back to that spread with Georgia covering or not. I don't have week one where we played Clemson. I don't have that. I don't know. I don't remember if we covered in that game or not. We may have
We
against
did.
Clemson. But then against Tennessee Tech, we were favored by 50 and a half, and we won 48-3. Then against Kentucky, we were favored by 23 and a half, and we won by 1 point.
So stupid.
Then we were favored against Alabama, and we lost by 7. So we didn't cover there. Then we were favored by 24 and a half against Auburn, and we beat them by 18. Then we were favored by 33 and a half against Mississippi State, and we beat them by
Barely
10.
won. How was that game?
Then
That was awful.
Texas was favored by 3.5. And of course, we won. So I guess technically that's a cover, right?
Mhm.
Um, then we were favored by 16 and a half against Florida, and we won by 14.
Almost.
So, um, if we were favored and we covered against Clemson, that's I don't know, but other than that one, this may be the first one all season.
Yeah, we did
Maybe.
cover against Clemson. I remember.
So maybe it's the second one tomorrow if we cover the 2.5. So anyway,
Point is, it's not a good record.
Yeah.
well, I honestly don't because I don't bet on these games. I don't really care if we cover or not. I care if we win.
Yeah.
We're just doing this against the spread because it makes it a little more interesting and a little harder to. We're not just picking straight up winners. So
I'm looking at the line. UGA was minus 10.5 for that Clemson game.
and we beat them by 31 points, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so yeah, we did cover the first game, but we haven't since then, except for the Texas game where we won as an underdog.
Yep.
So what do you think about Miami, Georgia Tech, Micah?
I think Miami's got too many too many guys at all the right positions. Their quarterback, skill position, uh, they're fast, they're big, they're strong. I don't see Tech hanging in this one. Tech started the year looking like they'd be a live underdog in a lot of their games, and they've kind of faded from that. Notre
They
Dame,
faded significantly.
yeah,
I
Notre
mean, it's
Dame when they played them, they Notre Dame couldn't. They still going into that game couldn't move the ball on offense. They didn't look like they knew what offense was, and they opened up a can on them. Notre Dame did on Tech. So I don't know. That was kind of the nail in the coffin of the season for me for Tech. Uh,
And then they didn't have their starting quarterback that game too. You got to put that into perspective.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't think he's back
I don't know.
yet.
I don't know if that would have made a difference, but I mean, that's like us saying UGA tomorrow doesn't have Carson back. How are we going to do tomorrow if Carson Beck's not a
We would
quarterback?
lose. I think we would lose.
Yeah.
That would definitely change who I'm picking if Carson Beck's not playing tomorrow.
But here's the
So,
thing, Miami does have theirs, and we know that
oh
for
yeah,
certain.
and
And
he's
and even if both quarterbacks are healthy and Heisman contenders, Miami's quarterback's better. So give me the Canes.
I understand what Matthew's doing. I mean, you're at home and you're getting 11 and a half points. That's that's significant. I just don't know if Tex at this point in the season if they can stay within 11 and a half points of
It's a
Miami.
noon game, so we'll see.
Miami just yeah, they've gotten away with some things and skated by on some things, but other times they're absolutely killing people.
Yeah.
And,
The
tomorrow I think
Magic's
it'll
got to
probably be
stop.
the same. And maybe if Cam Ward gets hurt or something, I guess.
I hope
But
he does.
on Georgia Tech, they're flirting with the possibility after starting out kind of strong at the beginning of the year, they're flirting with the possibility of not even being bowl eligible at this point. They're going to have to
Yeah,
beat somebody that um, they're not supposed to, I think, to
and
end
this would
up
be one of them.
because let's see, right now they're 5-4 overall. Um, and they've got Miami, NC State, and Georgia left on their schedule.
Yeah,
And
they
that
may
Georgia
not.
game's on a Friday.
Yeah.
So you got the number 4 and the number 3 team that you got on your schedule. So you're banking on beating NC State. Hopefully, I guess to get to the 6th win.
Go 6-6.
That's still a tall task for them, I think.
So that's why I made that point. They started out, like I said, with halfway decent,
Hot.
turning some heads. You know,
Two and one, right? First 3 weeks.
Hey, we got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, they started out 2-0. They beat Florida State, which we all thought was a huge win at the time. That was the first game of the season. Um,
That sorry team.
then they beat Georgia State. Then they barely lost to Syracuse. So they started out three, three and
They,
one to start the
they should have
season.
beaten Syracuse for sure because I watched a little bit of that game. They should have beaten Syracuse.
But anyway, enough talk about the Nats. I guess now our favorite team is on you know, our favorite team to discuss is the next game.
Nope.
Michigan Wolverines, baby. As you can see, I think we're all tired of talking about Michigan. Indiana is hosting Michigan, favored by 13 and a half points. And um, honestly, I was pretty close to taking Michigan
Stop
just to
it.
cover the 13 and a half.
Stop it.
But yeah, I was. But I think it would be more fun to watch Michigan get drilled by
Michigan
Indiana
doesn't
because
Michigan
you don't
doesn't
see that every year.
Michigan doesn't know what 13 points is.
Hmm. That might be fair, but I was pretty close to picking Michigan too, just because this is one of
Yeah.
those games where
Does Michigan actually bow up and play? And Indiana still has not played anybody of significance.
no, and I think Michigan's got Indiana's number. Do these guys keep looking over there and look at that helmet and be like, man, those guys just beat us every year. So that psychological battle is why I'm like, Indiana's at home. They've been beating the crap out of everybody. Why wouldn't that continue? Because to your point, Matthew, Michigan's looked as bad as anybody.
Like,
So,
um, it's insane.
but we did it again, and it looks like we did it 3 times this week again, all picking the same team, and I hate it. I wish I could switch my pick to Michigan.
Sorry, not sorry.
And it's funny how that keeps happening because we don't talk and we don't share our picks prior to. I'm the one that knows. I see them, last night when y'all gave them to me. Um, but and then when I'm, getting these slides together or whatnot, getting them prepared, I see it. But it is uncanny how often that happens that we're all picking the same team.
Yeah.
Then what I think is going to be the low key. I mean, you got two huge SEC matchups: Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama. I mean, those are, you know, marquee games.
This is the dark horse.
South Carolina at Vandy is going to be a good game, I think. I
Go
really, really think it will
Cox.
be.
You say that too much for me to not start to be concerned. Like,
Oh,
And
and
I know
both,
Mike only picked Vandy because he knew me and Matthew were going to pick South Carolina and he wanted to be different.
no, no, I actually did not.
That's the only reason you picked Vandy.
No, my wannabe different game would be picking
Michigan.
Michigan or Utah
I almost picked Utah. I was back and forth with that game.
because
I was too,
I knew who
because
y'all
Utah's
were
at home.
picking for those games. I could just tell, but no, I picked Vandy because I truly believe in Vandy this season. I
Hey,
South Carolina's had a couple of stinkers, and Vandy's just
Give
been
me the
Mr.
Gamecocks.
No. Vandy's just been Mr. Consistency, and so is their quarterback, Pavia. Give me Pavia. Pavia madness. For the,
Demetrius Knight is going to have a field day on him
I mean,
with his slow self.
for I hope you're right for Demetrius's sake, but like this
do
is
you
a home game for
realize the
Vandy.
line has moved? The line has moved to its South Carolina -6 right now.
What's going on there? Is it somebody hurt?
I don't know.
Or everybody's just
I
looking
just
at how South Carolina blew out Texas A&M at home.
Hmm.
But see, South Carolina is a other than the Oklahoma game where they blew them out, South Carolina plays best at home,
and they're not going to be at home this game.
and they're not
Well,
going to have the crowd, and it's not at night, you know. So, yeah,
Although I will say they played pretty good at Alabama.
they
yeah,
did. But everybody seems to be playing well at Alabama these days.
because Alabama's not that good.
So, and here's the thing, because we took it at 3.5 and now it's 6. I wish it would have been 6 because even that would reinforce what I'm about to say. All Vandy can lose this game by 1 or 2, and I'm going to be right, and you two suckers are
Well,
going
they
to be
can lose
wrong.
by a field goal and you'll be right.
Yeah, the margin of victory can be as much as 3 for South Carolina, which it may be, judging by how the spread started. It's not how it ends, it's usually how it starts. Um, and I'd be right. So,
Yeah, it's going to be, but I think that's going to be more interesting games to watch, besides the two heavyweight games that are going on in the SEC.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's get to the other one.
Then we got Alabama going on the road to Death Valley, take on the Go Tigers.
Cousin lovers versus
Ala-
Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So, Dad, what happened? All of a sudden, Alabama plays LSU, and you just jump ship because you've been picking Alabama all year.
Yeah. What happened to that?
Explain that one.
Mm-hmm. Big Poppy.
Basically, and looking at the current line too, it's down to no, it's the same. It's Alabama 2.5. So when it's that low, what we've said all along is basically pick them, right?
Right.
I just at
You
home,
think
I just think LSU is going to beat them.
Not convinced. You were
Why
riding
did you pick
Alabama
LSU, Matthew?
because I hate Alabama. Alabama sucks.
Okay,
so? That's an
tell us how you really
emotional.
feel.
That's an emotional pick. This is
Yeah,
supposed
that
to
I
Well,
want
be.
some solid
Al
reasons.
Alabama is not that good of a team compared to LSU.
That's
Um,
still
and I'll
emotional.
still reiterate they got lucky against Georgia. And we shouldn't have been in that game. They lost to Vandy. Should have lost to South Carolina.
But they didn't.
Uh, and
And so they're going to
they
lose
sh-
to LSU.
it was down to the last play on both of those games, or
Yeah.
to South Carolina, or no, not South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina and Vandy,
Yeah, it
pretty
was.
much.
Yeah.
Man,
And
what
So
they
a what a season for Alabama. Um,
they might
they
lose.
could have lost to Georgia. They did lose to Vandy. They could have lost to South Carolina. They did lose to Tennessee, and they may lose to LSU tomorrow.
They might lose
And
one
then the
more.
rest of the year, all they've got is Mercer, Oklahoma, and Auburn. So, and there's no guarantee Auburn's not going to beat them.
Because it's a rivalry game.
So, um, the good news is that it's at home for Alabama as far as
Yep,
that game goes.
against
But,
Auburn.
you know, they just got some issues, Alabama. Right?
That's what we've been
I
telling
mean,
you all
they're
season. You keep picking them.
hey, and I keep picking them, I keep being right.
Well, okay. So now they're first
I don't
chance.
think they're gonna win tomorrow, so I picked LSU.
Well, I'll be the voice of reason this week, and I'll be the one to fill
You
that role. They keep winning. They just keep finding a way to win. Say what you want,
they
but
do.
they keep struggling their way to victories. Yeah,
And they're still 6-2. And if they
they're
win out, guess where they're gonna be?
in the playoff,
In the playoff.
which they're favored to get there right now. They're like the 12th best odds, but they're favored to get there if they win out. And you really think that they're going to leave Alabama out if they're 10-2 and they beat Georgia? Nope.
Heck no.
So,
Because they're Alabama.
look, I don't like them either, but um Alabama's
It doesn't really matter
quarterbacks,
if you like them or not.
yeah. I think Alabama's quarterback is better. Nussmeier's had a similar struggle as Carson Beck recently throwing picks. So Alabama's shown that if they get more opportunities on offense, that they'll make you pay. a la the Georgia game, and that could not bode well for LSU, even though it is a night game and weird things happen every time that a game is played at night there. But
Telling you, them Tigers, go Tigers.
I just don't trust Brian Kelly in big games, to be honest with you.
At home at night. It's a different place. It's a different beast.
Yeah, but it's still Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Speaking of that, which coach would you rather have coaching your team, DeBoer or Kelly?
DeBoer.
Neither.
Well, yeah, thank God we don't have either. I'd take Kirby
What?
Smart.
Neither.
No, you have to pick one, Matthew. Which one?
Uh, neither.
Which one?
N- the middle. Or yeah.
That who'd you pick?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'd,
I don't know.
I'd take DeBoer. He's just a winner. Brian Kelly
Yeah,
chokes in the
but
big games.
but Brian Kelly's won more in the SEC than what DeBoer has. Of course, this is his first season, but I don't know. It's just weird. Alabama's just funky this year with him at the helm.
They
They're
I
gonna
can't
suck.
put I can't put my finger on it. It's just it's just not Nick Saban leading the Alabama Christmas Tide.
Because
You know,
they don't trust DeBoer.
it's
I
a
don't know
it,
if that's it,
it's a
but
transition year. It's gonna be bumpy.
but I will say DeBoer's won everywhere he's gone, including Washington.
Yeah, say what you want. Like Brian Kelly did well at Notre Dame, but Notre Dame has been a national power several times. Washington has almost never been a national power, and DeBoer built them and took them to the national championship.
All thanks
So
to Michael Penix.
no, I Michael Penix was on one leg half the season,
Hey, he still played though.
and he balled out to his credit. I love him, but DeBoer had a lot more to do with that success, I feel like.
Nah, you're right. I wouldn't pick either to be my coach.
Well, I wouldn't pick either, but I'm saying if you had to choose one of these two, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Because I
I
mean, if I
guess
said Nick
DeBoer.
Saban or Brian Kelly, there's no
Uh,
doubt who you're gonna say.
Oh, Brian Kelly.
Hmm.
then pick him now against DeBoer,
I'm just
who's
kidding.
not as good.
No. I would pick DeBoer.
So anyway, just thought it was an interesting topic. And our last game over the weekend, BYU favored by 3.5 on the road, playing at Utah. Go Utah. Utah has struggled so far this season.
Without their quarterback.
He's
Yeah,
been
that dude
hurt
can't stay healthy to save his life.
he's been hurt most of the last two seasons. So I mean,
Hmm.
that's almost not an excuse anymore. They should have had another
Quarterback.
another planet quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
That's a late kick, 10:15 on ESPN. I might have to catch some of that
Well,
tomorrow.
Utah started out 4-0. You know, wasn't too long ago we saw them win at Oklahoma State,
Yeah.
but they since have turned in four straight losses,
About to be
making it
five.
4-4 on the year. Um, like I was very, very close to picking them just because I like their coach. I like how they play. Um, and I may end up getting this wrong because he may just this is the ultimate rivalry game for them.
Hmm.
You know, BYU is in Utah. They play the this game and all bets are off. I mean, I would not be shocked to see Utah pull this out, to be honest. Especially since they're at home, they're gonna if they start playing well and it's close, the longer it goes, the louder that place is gonna be. You know, they're gonna all start believing they can pull off an upset of a top 10 team. So I could see it going the other way pretty easily. Like I said, I was very close to picking Utah, but since BYU's having a significantly better seasons to this point, I went with them.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. I would not be shocked at all if Utah just comes out and this is one of their type of style games where they just wear BYU out. But I just I couldn't see that happening enough times. Like you play the scenario over in your head 10 times. I think BYU wins this game 8 or 9 at times out of 10 this season because they've got a real quarterback. They're playing real complementary football, and I think they're going to be the Big 12 champ in their first season. So give me the
They might.
Cougs.
There you go. I didn't expect that.
No, they're in the driver's seat. All they got to do is just keep winning.
Keep winning. Because they got
That's true.
Utah, then they play Kansas, they play Arizona State, and then they play Houston.
They're
Hmm.
definitely in the driver's seat. That's not the four hardest teams to play in that conference.
Nope, not at all. I watch out for Colorado though.
Colorado has everything in front of them too.
Hmm. They could be a 10-win team too. They got Texas Tech tomorrow, and then Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State.
See, that's a little bit harder of a schedule. I don't know if they run the table.
But we'll see. We'll see. Uh, I mean, I just picked BYU because they're obviously the more complete team, in my opinion. Um, that's pretty much why I went with them. They're playing good, sound, fundamental game day in and day out. So that's why I picked them.
Well, that's a good, straightforward reason there, sir.
Thank you.
I think that wraps up another good episode, don't y'all?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just
100%.
glad that I'll be able to, sit on my couch and just enjoy these games tomorrow.
Shut up.
Go Tigers.
Go Cougs.
Go Nerds and go
Hell
Cox.
no.
I'm gonna start editing that out when you say that if you don't quit.
I think we need to start doing that.
I'm
Putting
tired
out
of
a little
hearing
short,
it.
putting out a little short where it's just Matthew saying,
Because I can do that, right?
"You do it.
No,
I want to see it."
no, no,
Yes.
no, no.
Yes.
Keep it in there.
Well, stop saying it.
No.
Uh, gosh, I'm concerned.
Don't be concerned.
His love for our rivals is just just very unsettling.
I'm just rooting for them because they're playing teams that I want to lose.
Every week,
Yeah. And also with South Carolina, my best friend is on the team, so I'm going to support him. He has a chance to go to the NFL, so I'm going to root for him.
that's fine. Casey said you need a counter for that. I'm wondering what she
What do you mean by
Counter for
that,
what?
wife? I counter for what?
probably
A
your
counter for how many times he says that?
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
Don't worry,
I
I can
think
come
you need
up.
to just edit the video and clip that, him just saying that over and over and over and put it out as a short.
Probably be our most watched
It
video.
probably would. It'd probably get a lot of views.
You're welcome.
And probably go viral.
You might get
You
some
will.
DMs. You better watch out.
Maybe for the wrong reasons, but it might go viral.
I'm not answering.
It is 2024, so you're gonna have some
Stop it.
people hitting on you.
Stop it.
Oh,
Well, it was fun
uh,
again tonight. We started out with some jokes, we ended with some jokes, right? Maybe we should start doing that every week.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you to those who commented. Casey said count every time he says, and then she said go C star star KS. The laughing face. Yep, I agree with you, Casey. I'm gonna start counting, and maybe that'll get
can
him
we
to shut
can
up.
we put a counter up on the screen?
Yeah, I've got like a whiteboard setting. I could just start tally every time
There
he
you
says it.
go. There
Yeah,
you
Do it.
go.
that might be what we do. So y'all comment and let me know if that's what I should do Sunday. If he
No, what
starts
I
saying,
want you to do, I want you to go back and edit, take a clip every week that he said that, and mash it all together and put it out as a short. It'd be hilarious to watch.
I may need some help with that. If there's somebody out there that knows how to throw
Casey
clips
could help you.
together
You just
better.
cut it, right?
Yeah, but it's gotta, you want it to flow, right?
No, it
Casey
doesn't
could do
have
it.
to flow. It doesn't have to flow.
Yeah. Well, maybe so. I may take a stab at that. That'd
It's
be
just for
funny.
fun. It's just for fun.
But just like that is fun. This is fun every time we get on here. So we appreciate the support. We appreciate people that watch live and that watch it later. Thank y'all. If you like what we're doing, give us a like, share with 5 or 10 of your friends. Make sure you subscribe. That it doesn't cost anything to do anything that I'm asking right now. And definitely turn on those notifications because you may see us on at 10 p.m. start time, not end. Or you may see us on in the middle of the week if there's some breaking news. So um, thank y'all. It was a lot of fun tonight. Um, and we will be back on here on Sunday night, 8 o'clock, to recap the weekend's games and go over our picks and give our top 12.
Seem
So,
like it go 1-5 again.
oh yeah. Oh, now
Woohoo!
you're gonna start doing that to me again? Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll
Hey,
see
you
who
sure
goes.
think
We'll see.
I think Dad was the only one that went 1-5 besides you
One time.
one time.
Mike has done
I
it.
haven't.
Yeah. Well, Mike is not doing it again this season, so
We'll see. We will see.
Yes, we will. And as always, to wrap this show up tonight, go dogs.
Go dogs.
Go.
Second.